Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson, and of course I'm sitting down with the bestest Cubby and the mostest, even if half the town thinks I'm divorcing you. Techy-Joe.
Do what?
Oh, honey, you know how this town is.
Oh,
I've been buying kitchen appliances, kitchenware, curtains, skillets.
he's leaving me for another diet.
Yeah,
Do I need to make you a shirt that says that? Like, I have the cricket and an iron. I can make it happen.
I don't know. Maybe one that says not divorce, just gluten free. Gods.
Fair
You know,
enough.
and example, I had a 10-minute conversation about the skillet I was buying and how it'll last for 20 years, longer than most relationships. It just gives me that look like,
In case you needed to know.
yeah.
Oh, I don't have these problems. Like, I can shop for all the housewares I want to and no one says a word.
Yeah, I just can't send you into gardening.
No. Then I get in trouble and I get asked if my wife
Mm-hmm.
knows what I'm doing.
Right. Or if,
Which is an experience.
Oh, again, I don't send him to lawn garden anymore. And apparently she works in, she also works at Big Lots to interview me about why I'm buying kitchen stuff.
Oh, okay, good. So it's at least equal opportunity.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it has been a week. It has been insane. We now have two different dishwashing sets.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It really is having to. It really truly is having to start acting like two households in one.
Yeah.
That there is a necessity for there to be the gluten-free items, not just the food, and the storage space for that, and the meal planning around that and how that all works together. But then there's actually separate cookware, there's separate bakeware, there's separate utensils and silverware.
Yep.
Like, it's all having to separate out, just to prevent that cross.
Right.
So yeah, it really does look like, he's gotten an apartment. Like, I threw him out.
Right.
He's gotten a cheap apartment. Has nothing. I think the only way you could have sold that harder would have been if you were putting the blow-up queen mattress in the cart.
I know. Well, I almost bought a comforter set, and I think
no.
Almost. Like, I came really close because I've been wanting a new comforter set for our bedroom. Because, sorry, I freeze.
Well, that's fair.
Oh.
Attacking cat.
You're
attacking cat.
Yep.
But hey, Brenda. Okay, so you okay over there?
Yeah, I just had to smack the cat. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where we want to go first.
Okay.
Well, let's start here at home. And, Blue Cross and Blue Shield used to be the ones swearing by everything.
Oh, yeah. So Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield halts plan to put time limit on coverage for anesthesia after criticism. So a major insurance company's controversial plan to limit coverage for anesthesia during surgery is being reversed after receiving criticism. The plan from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield would affect those in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri. The plan initially said starting in February, the insurance company would deny claims for anesthesia surgeries that exceeded specific time limits. According to CNN and NPR, Anthem said the proposed change was part of an effort to make healthcare more affordable by reducing overbilling. The American Society of Anesthesiologists has called Anthem's plan egregious and uninformed. The organization called for the policy to be reversed immediately. On
Yes.
Thursday afternoon, a spokesperson for Anthem told KMOV in Missouri that the company's anesthesia policy will not be changing. So, yeah. This is like this is just stupid.
Well,
Like, it'll save money. It'll save money.
oh, yeah.
But at what point do we think that an insurance company is reasonably capable of making a determination for how long a surgery should take?
Mm-hmm. This isn't an old change.
No. Well, and more to the point, it gets into the idea that like even in common and routine procedures, things can go wrong, things can go long, things can happen. I don't want, like, one, I do not want in a healthcare setting for a doctor to feel rushed to complete my procedure.
Right.
Because that seems like where accidents might occur. Especially if an anesthesiologist is sitting there like, look, you got 5 minutes before I quit being paid.
Right.
So you can finish it up or I can wake him up. Either which way, this is going to suck for you.
Right.
Like, move it along. I don't think is a fair situation. Nor do I necessarily think that it needs to go the route of like the repair is supposed to take of taking a car into a shop and its estimated repair time is like an hour.
Exactly.
And many shops do honor what the book says, even if like the actual time ends up being much, much longer.
Exactly. Parts getting delayed, like kidneys.
Well, that kidneys move slow. More importantly, the incentive is going to be on the insurance company to way underestimate this and just deny it.
Right.
And be like, prove. Oh, well, we didn't like your appeal.
Right.
So it's more time, money, and effort wasted trying to defend healthcare.
Right.
So eventually you start moving into the point in which no one gets anesthesia anymore. Like, do you really want a local?
Right.
Like, no.
I tell you, this is a cheapskates. Now, Blue Cross Blue Shield used to be what was sworn by in this state. Now, the Aetna's took it over. It's not the same Blue Cross Blue Shield our daddies had. All righty.
No, Anthem bought a brand.
Yeah, they bought the brand, not the company's values.
Oh yeah. All right. So, in completely unrelated news, health insurance shares fall after United Health CEO murder in New York. We know that these stories have nothing to do with each other. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. So shares of health insurance companies, including United Health Group, UNH.N, continue to fall on Friday, 2 days after Brian Thompson, the CEO of the company's health insurance unit, was fatally shot outside a Manhattan hotel by a gunman lying in wait. The shooter is still at large, and his motive for the attack has not been determined, police officials say. Thompson's death sparked a wide social media conversation over frustrations with navigating the U.S. health insurance system, particularly when medical expenses are not covered or insurance claims or requests for care are denied. The anti-insurer sentiment expressed by the public after this event suggests that United Health and perhaps the industry may need to adjust how they handle coverage decisions, said Morningstar analyst Julie Utterback. Shares of United Health were down 4.8% on Friday after a 5% drop on Thursday. Rival insurers, Elevance, Centene, CVS Health, and Cigna also fell between 1% and 3% in afternoon trading. Those shares all lost ground on Thursday as well. The words deny, defend, and depose were carved into shell casings found at the scene, police sources told ABC and the New York Post. The words evoke the title of Jay Feinman's 2010 book, critical of the U.S. insurance industry, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About it. Social media sites have been flooded with angry posts attacking companies and users sharing personal frustrations on coverage rejections and how they have been denied necessary care, as well as sarcastic videos with unsympathetic messages like thoughts and prayers require prior authorization. Health insurance companies are reassessing the risk for their top executives, with both United Health and CVS removing photos of their leadership teams from their websites after the shootings or shooting. Potential changes in coverage decisions may be prompted by internal initiatives or external pressures that could pose risks for profits, said Utterback. The insurance industry has been facing higher costs over the past few quarters due to increased demand for health care under government-backed Medicare plans for older adults or those with disabilities, as well as changes in Medicaid eligibility from states, which has left insurers with more patients who require more medical services.
Oh, you mean actually your business is up, but you don't like your business being up?
Oh God, no. So that was the nightmare. That was the nightmare situation, is because of course they want to cover or they want as many paying
Right.
out the nose members possible for the least amount of coverage, or at least high deductible coverage, if not full on catastrophic plans that good luck if you can use it.
Right.
Because the only point it kicks in, it's going to bankrupt you. Like it applies for cancer, or you need a heart transplant. But the copays out of pocket and everything else is going to be a nightmare.
Right.
It is what they want to specialize in. This idea of being like government required to actually provide health care to people who need it and pay bills related to it is kind of not what they do. Like it's not what they want to do. And so basically having this kind of oversight, having these kind of requirements, walking themselves into this market and realizing they're not going to just get to keep hitting the deny button is very stressful for them.
Well, not only that, but it's very stressful that, that some people, and I am not vouching for the shooter. I would probably go and check his check the latest denials. So U.S. CEO stocks and salary bonuses comparison. So he got some very nice bonuses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, argumentatively and perhaps crass, but I don't really care at this point. These CEOs are getting paid enough to get shot at.
$10.2 million annual compensation package, including salary, bonuses, stocks options. Option awards are free stocks, so he's even making that $5.26 per share per quarter extra that's not included in that.
Yeah. Now, when I say that sounds really horrible. I want to make sure to clarify. Do you remember for minimum wage, we did declare in a healthcare emergency, in a health emergency, in an epidemic, essential workers at like minimum wage go to work.
Yeah.
I think for $10 million a year, plus perks and benefits and stock options and all the things, all the trimmings of a golden parachute, I could be shot at.
Yeah.
Like it seems reasonable. Or more importantly, maybe don't make decisions that get you shot.
And don't make public notice of where you're having an investor meeting.
You mean where they pour the champagne and laugh at all the idiots whose money they took and are now going to snort up their nose?
Yes.
Oh, that. Yeah, no, probably ought not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like it kills me. We have more security for me than a CEO does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but instead, what has happened, and in the wildest move in healthcare, so now insurance companies are actually buying medical provider practices, so that effectively they're working both ends against the middle, because of course with the different health mandates for insurance came the requirement that only 20% of their revenue go towards like CEOs and executives and employees and property, plant, equipment, all these things. And 80% actually get spent on patients. So what they've done is they went out and started buying medical providers so that they can be the ones setting the charge master for the services that they're going to approve because the money flows right back to them.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like before we got the healthcare bill, the clinic that I hate down here, you could buy insurance through them just for them. It was like 100% paid as long as you paid your premium.
Okay, so basically it was an all-you-can-eat plan.
Yeah.
For like, what, $100 a month?
122 a month, but it was only for doctor's visits and medications and testing. Anything that was out of that practice, you couldn't pay. I mean,
so if they have to send you for an MRI, if they have to send you to a specialist, like that's it, stops at the door.
Yep.
Okay. So not really insurance, it's a subscription model.
Right.
I've worked with, and it technically falls under concierge care.
Right.
And what that is, if you've never heard the term, I hadn't back in 2004. I had never heard this term. Worked for a doctor who said, fuck insurance. Literally, fuck insurance.
Right.
I'm not dealing with it. I'm not putting up with it. I will gladly fill out the paperwork and you can submit it to your insurance company for your reimbursement. All others pay cash. Or credit card, we take those too. But her whole practice was built around, and I can't remember, I think it was like $3,000 a year. You literally had her personal cell phone number. And she told patients, we are open like 290 some days a year, and you can be in my waiting room and see me all 290 of them.
Yep.
Like, you have to book an appointment. Like, please don't just walk in for 290 days. But if you have an emergency, feel free to show up. We'll work you in. But I'm going to get cranky if you do that all 290. But otherwise, call me for anything you need. Like, I will gladly work with you, do whatever we have to.
It's $250 a month.
Yeah. Like, she was, and her patients loved her.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they had to pay annually, but loved her. And she was a great doctor.
Yeah.
She really, truly was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she was an amazing woman. Um, First time I'd ever heard the words, I didn't have a clue what concierge care meant. Oh no, you literally have a personal doctor.
Yep.
She doesn't stick you with a temp. You don't see a PA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see her.
Mm-hmm.
You call her. There's no answering service.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't do answering services.
Mm-hmm.
You call her cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a problem with your lab work, they call her cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
You know, and frighteningly, like, she has the intelligence, or you know, I don't think she's passed. She would be much older now.
Right.
Because this has been 20-some years.
Sure.
And, you know, but like, amazing memory.
Right.
Like, she didn't really need your chart in front of her. She knew who you were and what your problems were.
Right.
You know, all she needed was the lab work.
Right.
Like, how are you doing? Is anything changing?
What do you want to work on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably go for that. Because I do not like PAs. If I wanted a physician to talk to a physician's secretary, I would call the office. Not my office room, not my visiting room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some comments. Shannon. So let's see. Where are we? Oh, well, let's start with Brenda. Yes, so much better for people to wake up during surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And Shannon says they wouldn't wake people up. They just wouldn't pay for the anesthesia if it went over the allotted time. Never mind things like bleeds happen or clots get through. But I do wonder at what point
mm-hmm.
do your anesthesiologists become jerks?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean that anesthesiologists by nature are jerks. Not what I'm saying. I'm saying at some point,
mm-hmm.
I'm not getting paid for this has got to start crossing your mind.
Right.
And whether it's, you know, morally right, whether or not it's whatever, at some point in this profession, it's going to become normal to be like, wrap it up.
Yep.
Because I'm off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
You paying me?
Yeah.
Because I'm about to turn it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Your patient's about to go, hi.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
And you can deal with it.
Yeah. That's rushing doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, there's first do no harm. I get that. I totally get that. I'm sure a lot of anesthesiologists would be hard-pressed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you're going to hit one that's like, we're in hour 2 of unpaid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Now, Shannon follows up with a comment on that. My practice insurance is about ready to go through the roof. Guess who collects that? Guess who insures that?
Yeah, really. So yeah, CEOs shouldn't be allowed to make more than a percentage above their lowest workers. They want to make more, raise everyone's pay under you. And again, you only get that fixed percentage over it.
Mm-hmm.
And tying CEO compensation to the wages of employees,
mm-hmm.
I can strongly get behind. I do tend to have a more.
See, I don't.
Well, no, I like, I'm behind it. I'm there with it, though. I do tend to have a bit more. I don't really want to call it compassion because that's not what it is. I feel like a little more perspective on the idea that, like, no, CEOs. Like, again, totally into tying it. I think most people, when they say that, is like 75% more. So like 175% of what your lowest paid employee is, what your average paid employee is, something.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of skew towards, I can see that number being higher. I don't think it needs to get anywhere over 500%.
Oh, I think it should
I
be
struggle
way-
with the idea of what did you do for this company.
Right.
Now, typically, though, for companies, and there are a lot, where actual compensation you have to be careful with, because there are CEOs that make like $1 a year.
Mhm.
They could care less what their paycheck is.
Right.
That's not the important part. The important part is over on stock, perks, expense accounts, allowances,
Mhm.
like all the trimmings of the position.
Right.
That get a little fuzzy on the accounting side. Because you can play with dates, you can play with what is this, and it's not always direct compensation that's the problem.
Right.
Like, it's a wild world to be a C-level executive or higher.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the money it's not about the money.
Right.
Oh yeah, it doesn't need to go over 125%. Back before Reaganomics, they didn't make more than 90% over their employees in most cases. Yeah. So about, one in a so I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're saying. So you're talking about like 225% and 190%.
Right. Well, I don't know. I think $15 an hour, and they have to clock in 40 hours a week.
I mean, you again have to adjust for the actual compensation versus like cash compensation.
Yeah.
Because most of your CEOs don't want cash compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the weirdest thing. But then you also have the realities of, and this was the argument for Golden Parachute, which, if you're not familiar with the concept, it's that most contracts for CEOs, high-level executives, include provisions that should they leave, they get some very nice severance that these companies are contractually obligated to.
Right.
That because there is a risk, if like, for instance, if Brian Thompson, who was recently shot, had, for instance, chosen to leave United than to make some of the choices he did for the company, that may have been very poorly received, and he may never work again. Like, hiring him may become impossible.
Right.
When once a failed CEO, like if the investors in United had revolted and done a no confidence vote, say at this stockholders meeting, unlikely to happen, but if they had, that may have been it. He's out the door, and no one will touch him.
Yeah.
So there are risks, some risk to being a CEO. Now, generally though, business school graduates and especially C-level executives typically run in circles that will like self-care. So they will find somewhere for him to go.
Right.
Because, the poor pitiful guy was only making 10 million a year.
Right.
Or 20 million or whatever it was. And now he's destitute. Because, I don't know, apparently he didn't save or invest anything.
Right.
Whatever, you probably have enough money to live off for the rest of your life. But within that echelon of elitism, so to speak, it's very much a self-caring circle. That you will gladly bring on your buddy, and yeah, hookers and blow. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep, pretty much. Well, the world's governments are in trouble. And I do mean a lot of them.
Yes.
First, we have France. Shall we go to France?
Yes. Let me grab, I think you got an article over here.
Yep, I got articles for all of it.
All right, so France's toppled government adds to the European Union's bigger political problems. So French President Emmanuel Macron has vowed to see out his current term until 2027 and name a new government in the next few days, amid a spiraling political crisis that has threatened to engulf his leadership. Speaking Thursday at his official residence in the Élysée Palace in Paris, Macron thanked the outgoing Prime Minister Michael Barnier for his dedication after a majority of National Assembly lawmakers voted to remove him on Wednesday, forcing him to resign. Macron accused the opposition parties of choosing chaos, saying they don't want to build, they want to dismantle. The political instability in France and simultaneously in Germany, where the governing coalition collapsed a month ago, could have wide-ranging consequences for European security as well as transatlantic relations, analysts tell NPR. Just weeks before President-elect Donald Trump enters the White House, with a war still raging on Europe's doorstep, caretaker governments will now control two of the continent's most powerful economies. President Macron had appointed Barnier to head the government only 3 months ago after snap elections this summer left no party with a majority in a deeply divided parliament. On Wednesday, legislators from opposing extreme flanks came together in a vote of no confidence against Barnier over his proposed 2025 national budget. Now, with the government toppled and no approved budget, Macron knows he must act quickly, according to Matthew Gallard, a pollster at Ipsos. Regarding the adoption of the budget, everything is stalled. Nothing can move in the parliament before we have a new government, says Gallard. It's really uncharted territory since we have never been in this kind of situation. The main challenge stems from the fact that none of the political groups in the French parliament have a clear majority, nor do any of them want to negotiate or compromise with one another, Gallard says. While the electoral system means there is very little incentive for that to change, even if Macron calls a fresh national vote in 10 months, which is as soon as the Constitution allows after the last election. Before the election of Emmanuel Macron, we had two blocs opposing in French politics, the left and the right, and it was quite simple, explains Gallard, who lectures on public opinion at Paris's top political science university, Sciences Po. Now we have three blocks, a left-wing bloc, a center-right bloc, and a radical right bloc, and it makes the situation way more complicated. Meanwhile, in neighboring Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz lost support from his previous political coalition partners over economic and budget policies as well. Now he's limping along to a confidence vote later this month and federal elections in February. All this adds up to something that European leaders must soon take seriously, says Tanja Borzel, a political science professor at Free University in Berlin, while she doesn't believe the European Union faces an existential threat yet. Right. She says it's a major challenge. And the timing of these twin political crises is particularly unfortunate, given that polarization and societal distrust of government has been rising on both sides of the Atlantic, Borzel says. These two countries have always, very often, taken the lead in helping Europe to speak one voice. I think that's what is required more than ever with Trump taking over the presidency in the U.S. At the dawn of a second Trump term in the White House, a chief concern for many in the EU, even before his latest instability, has centered on the continent's security. For the EU today, the number one urgency is the Ukraine war, says Alexandra de Hoop Schaefer, acting president of the German Marshall Fund of the United States, speaking in a video call during a visit to Washington, D.C. As we know, there is a certain dose of anxiety in terms of how the Trump administration will handle the war in Ukraine with a potential deal that might circumvent Europeans. Oh, there's been an ongoing debate in many European countries known colloquially as the guns versus butter battle. It has pitted the need for increased defense spending, prompted not only by the Ukraine conflict, but also Trump's frustrated attitudes with member states' NATO obligations against domestic requirements amid an ongoing cost of living crisis. And it's the budget fights in both France and Germany that have recently helped topple their respective leaders. At the end of the day, the EU is not the EU is not united on Ukraine, and it's always European fragmentations that fuel European weaknesses, says De Hoop Schaefer, who previously worked for NATO as well as the French Defense Ministry. The crisis of French-German leadership, that truly doesn't help, she says. And with Europe's two largest economies already spluttering, the new year may herald a new era for both the European Union and the United States.
Then we go over to Romania's court. Gotta love Romania's court. Give me a minute.
I don't even have that one. I was all set to go to South Korea.
Oh, no. We gotta make a stop in Romania.
To the Romanians. They almost brought back the guillotine. There. I don't know. I saw a lovely commentary against Elon Musk on his Twitter platform, or about himself and his Twitter platform, that he aimed to bring back 1930s Germany and accidentally brought back 1780s France. I find that.
There we go. Very interesting that you bring up that comparisons.
Yeah, so Romanian court annuls results of presidential election first round. Oh, so Romania's constitutional court has annulled the results of the first round of voting in the presidential election just days before the second round was due to take place. It means the process will be restarted from scratch, with the government due to decide a date for a new vote. The first round was won by Călin Georgescu, an almost unknown far-right NATO skeptic who has previously praised Vladimir Putin. The court's decision comes after intelligence documents were declassified, suggesting Georgescu benefited from a mass influence operation conducted from abroad to interfere with the result of the vote. Hours after the court's decision, Georgescu told a Romanian TV channel that the country's democracy was under attack, describing the verdict as formalized coup d'etat. He said he would go forward through the voting process, implying that he would try to run again for president. Outgoing Romanian Prime Minister Marcel Salaciu said the court's decision to annul was the only correct solution after the declassification of the documents, which showed that the result of the Romanians' vote was blatantly distorted as a result of Russia's intervention. In an address on Friday evening, current President Klaus Iohannis confirmed he would remain in the role until a new president was elected. He said Romania was a stable, safe, and solid country, one that remains safely and solidly pro-European and an ally to NATO. The judges of the court met on Friday morning, despite having announced the previous night that they would not discuss new information regarding possible external influence on the elections until the second round of voting. The law stipulates that in the event of an annulment of the elections, they should resume on the second Sunday after the date of the annulment, which would have been on December 22nd. However, the court has decided to ask the government to rerun the entire electoral process and therefore the electoral campaign. Last week, the court had ordered a recount of votes cast in Sunday's first round, following allegations that social media platform TikTok gave preferential treatment to the surprise winner, Călin Georgescu. Georgescu, a radical with no party of his own, campaigned mainly on TikTok. The platform said it was categorically false to claim his account was treated differently to any other candidate. He won 23% of the vote, with 19% for the runner-up, Lena Lascani, of the opposition Save Romania Union, and Solak, the governing Social Democrats, in third. Lasconi condemned the court's ruling as illegal and immoral, saying today is the moment when the Romanian state has trampled on democracy. Whether we like it or not, from a legal and legitimate point of view, 9 million Romanian citizens, both in the country and in the diaspora, have expressed their preference for a certain candidate. We cannot ignore their will, she said. She had been hoping to win the second round runoff on Sunday, which has now been canceled. The Constitutional Court also rejected claims filed by two of the losing candidates who accused Georgescu of illegal campaign financing. This week, Georgescu denied to the BBC that he was Moscow's man. He claimed the political establishment could not cope with his success and was trying to block him. The country is now in totally new territory politically. God, that phrase again. And no one is quite sure what comes next.
And then we're leaving Europe, y'all, set sail for South Korea.
So after trying to impose martial law, South Korea's president faced an impeachment vote. So as new details emerge on Friday about a failed attempt by South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol to impose martial law this week, calls for his impeachment have strengthened. Parliament is expected to vote Saturday on an impeachment measure, and large street demonstrations are expected. Among the details that came out Friday were that Yoon's then defense minister ordered troops to remove lawmakers from South Korea's parliament building and detain them, something the military refused to do. Kim Yong-hyun, the defense minister, subsequently resigned. It was clearly illegal to drag lawmakers out, and the people carrying out that mission would naturally be held legally responsible later. South Korean Army Special Warfare Commander Lieutenant General Kwak Jung-hyun said in a meeting with lawmaker Kim Byung-ju, South Korean media reported, "I knew it would be considered insubordination because I was given this order, but I did not relay it," Kwak said. These soldiers that were sent in were not conscripts. They were professionals, all of them. Retired Special Forces Commander Lieutenant General Chun Im-bum tells NPR. The people that tasked them did not realize that they're democratically trained citizen soldiers, not zombies. South Korea's martial law act says lawmakers have immunity from arrest unless they're caught committing a crime. As a result of the commander's refusal to follow the former defense minister's orders, the lawmakers stayed in parliament and voted unanimously to demand that Yoon cancel his martial law order, which he did early on Wednesday, some 6 hours after issuing it. Troops were, however, dispatched to the National Election Commission on Tuesday night. Then Defense Minister Kim told local media that it was to assess the necessity of an investigation into alleged election fraud. Another detail that emerged on Friday came from the deputy director of South Korea's spy agency, who said that Yoon had ordered him to arrest not only lawmakers, but also a popular liberal journalist and a former Supreme Court justice. Spy agency chief Cho Tae-young later denied that Yoon had ordered any politician's arrests. Amid concerns that Yoon might make another attempt to declare martial law, South Korea's acting defense minister, Kim Son-ho, told reporters that neither the ministry nor the military would accept such orders. Meanwhile, Yoon's own party chief said Friday that Yoon's constitutional powers should be suspended, warning the president poses significant risk of extreme actions like reattempting to impose martial law, which could potentially put the Republic of Korea and its citizens in great danger. Oh, so I think we just kind of detail from there.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't enough.
No. No. And then we're back to Italy.
Oh, what the hell?
Sorry, we're dealing with government and government problems. Italy is
How did the U.S. reelect Trump and currently seem less fucked up than the rest of the world?
Honey, we ain't gotten to him yet.
Jesus.
We ain't gotten to him yet. Just watch the governmental spread here. Thousands of workers march across Italy in general strike demanding better pay and services.
I'll let you take it. I need a cigarette.
All right, you take it.
No, I said you take it.
Thousands of teachers, healthcare workers, trash collectors, and others walked off their jobs across Italy on Friday to protest and declare a spending power presidential low salaries. Government policies, they say, have weakened the public services. Most of the most powerful trade unions, called the 8th Hour Strike, mobilized marchers across cities in the country, targeting Parliamental Giuliano Mauricio's latest budget that they say penalizes schools, healthcare, and other services. They're also pressing for more equity distribution of the profits from private companies to workers. These protests don't speak to the government, Mauricio said, head of the public CGIL Congressman told reporter in Barcelona in Bologna. Sorry, I know I said that wrong. My Italian sucks. They speak also to the entrepreneurs, managers, businesses, and those in these years have made profit like never before. The strikes forced ITA Airlines to cancel dozens of domestic and international flights, hit schools, hospitals, and local transports. Unions called for an 8-hour strike, but Transport Metro Salvanzi imposed an injunction limiting the strike in transport sector to 4 hours. This is the first general strike since last November. Unions face possible sanctions for involving the healthcare and justice sectors, which have staged strikes recently. The Italian railroad, which has also been a target of recent labor actions, was exempt. Italian healthcare sector has been suffering staffing shortages that has forced the hiring of nurses from abroad, with care in the poorer southern peninsulas lagging. That is not in the more prosperous north. There are many people who go abroad because the salaries are so low, said Anna Sassavina, member of the UIL healthcare union, in demonstrations in Rome. We are forced to do double shifts to give the minimal level of essential care. This is like baths and medicine. Protesters also cite present increases in the cost of basic necessities. Despite inflation is cooling, the Concolcio Consumer Protections Lobbyist said that grocery costs for a family of 4 have risen almost $251 a year in 2024 comparative to last year, forcing many families to reduce their consumption. While starting salaries in Italy are aligned with the rest of Europe, pay increases do not keep pace, said the labor law expert at a university. As a result, Italians' gross median income, 35,000 euros a year, is at the lower end of the European average, well behind the G7 partners in France and Germany. He notes that such protests are historically more influential when engaged center-left government, which is friendlier to the unions rather than the conservative government, such as the Milanese far-right-led government.
Yeah.
Oh, Mamma mia, we're in trouble.
So Italy, just to wrap this up, Italy has now gone on strike because of their wages and cost of living, which are worse than the outrage in Germany and France that led to its instabilities.
Right.
So just so we're keeping pace.
Yeah. And then Romania said, oh, we had an election and it was fraudulent from Russia. Out with it. Which then makes their whole government agencies, bills, all of that is stopped until the new election occurs.
Mm-hmm. And seemingly except for France, where it's just the split is so even that no one can agree.
Right.
Everywhere else, it looks like in trying to do this like far right conservative government thing, it's not going well.
No.
It's not it's really not going well. Just so we're all keeping on pace. These are news stories. Say what you will about them, but hi.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can bury your head in the sand all you want. This is what's currently going on in the world.
Yeah, and it's all echoing in. What I mean by that is a lot of companies are owned by Italy. A lot of cruise lines are owned by, sail under the Italian's flag, South Korean flag. What's all that affect? How does that all affect us? That affects our shipping. That affects the cost of goods in America.
But let's throw some tariffs at it. I'm sure that'll help.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So we're going to cover this, and then we'll go to Are You That? Take a break and go to Are You an Asshole?
All right.
Jupiter.
So Jupiter to appear extra big and bright this weekend. The gas giant won't be this big and bright in the night sky again until 2026. What seems like a very bright star will appear in the midnight sky this weekend, but it's not a star at all. Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, will outshine everything in the midnight sky as it makes its annual closest approach to Earth. Known as opposition, the event is when Jupiter will shine its brightest for the year, as the gas giant and the sun are situated on opposite sides of Earth. The precise moment of closest approach will be tonight. The planet at a distance of 280 million miles from Earth, according to Earth Sky. However, NASA said the giant planet will remain visible throughout December, appearing extra big and bright in the night sky starting on Saturday. At opposition, Jupiter will shine at a magnitude of negative 2.8, which is nearly 4 times bigger than Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky seen from Earth. Only the sun, the moon, and the planet Venus will be brighter than Jupiter this week. To find Jupiter, look for the gas giant in between the horns of the constellation Taurus, the bull, as darkness falls. The planet will be visible all night, rising in the east at sunset and soaring nearly overhead at midnight. You won't need a telescope or binoculars to spot the planet. However, stargazers will be able to view details like the Galilean moons and atmospheric belts using one of the instruments. Weather on the giant planet, including a massive thunderstorm currently brewing, could also be visible with a telescope, according to spaceweather.com. Astronomers believe the Star of Bethlehem, or Christmas star, could have been Jupiter, Venus, or Mars, or possibly a combination of the three, as each of the planets are near their peak brightness for the year in December. At the possible time of the birth of Christ in the Bible, one of the stationary points could have occurred when Jupiter was directly overhead at Bethlehem at the same time of night for several nights, according to the Royal Museum Greenwich. In 2020, the bright planetary conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn was popularly referred to as the Christmas star, as the planets appeared as a single bright object in the sky, just 1/10 of a degree apart. Per NASA, the rare alignment hadn't occurred at night for nearly 800 years. The next great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn will occur in 2040.
Make note of that conjunction in 2040. If we remember what happened in 2020. Just saying from the astrologer.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. What's this mean? This is the time of benevolence. Do I think it has anything to do with someone that was actually probably born more likely in April or June? No, I don't. do I think that we need to A, look at their stars, B, look at how humans are reacting, and watch the growth occur in this alignment? This alignment is the sun opposing the planet of benevolence, stuck in the middle of Earth. Things are going to be bigger and brighter. People's moods are going to be better. Time to ask for a raise.
There we go.
Yes.
Which most of the world is currently doing.
Exactly.
And not quietly.
No, not at all. All right, guys, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll figure out if Joe's an asshole this week.
There we go.
Love diving into metaphysical topics, psychic insights, and lively discussions? Now you can help keep the conversation going. By becoming a Patreon supporter of The Psychic Coffee Shop, you'll gain access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and special perks just for our patrons. Join our community and ensure that your favorite psychic show continues to thrive. Your support helps us bring more enlightening episodes, special guests, and deep dives into the world of the unseen. Become a patron today and enjoy a cup of wisdom with us every week. Click the link to join the baristas and unlock exclusive content. Thank you for your support.
Unlock your full potential with Aeson Knight's life coaching. Are you ready to take control of your life and manifest the future you deserve? Aeson Knight, a seasoned life coach and master psychic, is here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, career transitions, or seeking spiritual growth, Aeson's life coaching services offer tailored guidance to help you achieve your goals. With Aeson by your side, you'll discover the tools to overcome obstacles, embrace your true self, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. His unique blend of spiritual insight and practical coaching empowers you to turn your dreams into reality. Ready to make a change? Book your session today and start your journey to a more empowered, balanced, and joyful life with Aeson Knight. Click the link to schedule your first session and step into your power.
Are you ready for an electrifying podcast experience that keeps you coming back for more? Join Aeson Knight every week as he takes you on a journey through captivating shows, each exploring unique and fascinating topics. And here's the best part. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode where you can get your burning questions answered live on air, absolutely free. Whether it's relationship advice, career guidance, or mystical insights, Aeson's podcasts have got you covered. When you subscribe, you become part of a vibrant community, engaging directly with Aeson as he shares his wisdom and leaves you feeling empowered and enlightened. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. What you'll get by subscribing: Monday 5 p.m. Metaphysics. Today, soulful conversations with Aeson Knight and Firefly, exploring the essence of metaphysics in today's world. Tuesday 8 p.m. The Psychic Coffee Shop. Dive into current events with a psychic twist, featuring special guests and thought-provoking discussions. Friday 9 p.m. The Mountain Bears Podcast. Lively discussions from a gayish, techy-ish, bearish perspective with Aeson and Joe. Sunday 5 p.m. Psychic That Plans. Get a weekly tarot energy overview and time management tips from Aeson Knight. Click here to subscribe now and never miss an episode. By subscribing, you're not just tuning in, you're joining a community of curious minds and ensuring you're always in the loop with Aeson's insightful and interactive shows. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for an amazing podcast journey.
Ready for an enchanting journey of self-discovery? Join Lord Aeson Knight in our Wicca courses. Unveil the secrets of Wicca. Explore deity relationships, rituals, and more. As a third-degree high priest, Aeson Knight guides you toward empowerment and enlightenment. Enroll today and take your first step into the magical circle. Click the link to begin your journey.
Psychic Saturday. Get 50% off with Aeson Knight every third Saturday of the month. Don't miss out. Book now.
All right. Welcome back. All right. Looks like you've got a fire topic.
All right. So, am I the asshole for moving all my daughter's belongings to my parents' house and leaving nothing for my husband's affair kid? Am I the asshole for this? My husband told me Saturday that he'd had an affair and had a kid from it. Our kids are 14 male and 10 female, and this child is 9 female. Something happened to her mother in the last couple of weeks. I was a little too busy screaming at him to listen to the details, and he was leaving to go get her. My daughter came to me crying, saying that he told her she had to share her room and her stuff with this girl for now. I called my parents and they agreed to her staying in their guest room, 2-bedroom condo, so my son and I are staying at the house. We packed her stuff, and Monday my parents, sister, brother-in-law, and nephews helped us move all her stuff to my parents' place. They also helped put locks on my bedroom and my son's bedroom. We moved all my husband's stuff from my bedroom to the 4th bedroom that he used as a home office. Yesterday evening, my husband got home with his affair kid. He got mad about all the stuff being gone and nothing being left for her. She's from a much warmer area and doesn't have clothes for the cold here. We live in the northern part of the U.S. This morning, he caught me in the kitchen to complain to me about it again and said I was being cruel by not making my daughter share with her. Am I the asshole? Take it away.
No, double no.
I mean, the fact that you dropped this bombshell and went to get your child from an affair, and then returned home and literally anything or anyone were left and or you still had access. Sort of surprising, actually. I think definitely a bridge too far to expect that your child with your current spouse it was going to take kindly to any of this, let alone the child.
Point blank, one, you didn't know he had a kid for 9 years?
Yeah, that's kind of a hell of a bombshell to drop and then leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, he's an asshole. You're not. Your daughter owns her property. It's hers.
Yeah. It's hers.
No one else's but hers.
Yeah. I would love the idea if somewhere in this you went, oh, okay, my husband had an affair and has a child and he's gone to get her. And maybe you could pull some stuff together.
Yeah.
With your daughter of stuff that doesn't fit, she doesn't like, or, gone shopping while your husband's out. Or again, making a lot of happy rose-tinted assumptions there.
Right. Again,
that would have made sense. But to just unilaterally decide, it's totally okay that I'm currently on the way to get the, child I had through an affair with someone
else.
And I'm going to move her in, take half my daughter's stuff, and split it between the two girls. And this is just life now. Which seemed to be your running assumption there. Wow.
First of all, we have re-wardrobed a person for less than $200.
Well, and pulled it off in an evening.
That would be a great, yeah.
And give me some credit. I at least know how to size a man. Because I actually did pretty good.
Right.
And no, it's not cheap. That it was definitely a grab the credit card. We're going to run out.
Right.
But even at that, it still was not like the end of the world.
Right.
I get things have gotten more expensive. I get that children's clothes can be especially difficult, especially if you have no clue
Right.
about this child, but
Right.
two, and I don't necessarily expect, which we should, but socially, let's get real. We don't expect most men to be able to go pull this off, especially heterosexual married men who probably went from mother to wife and just kind of survived until this poor unfortunate woman met him and like took him home, sheltered him, and pretty much did the same thing I did in that experience. Because it's basically what seems to happen for heterosexual women. Your bar is so low, I feel bad for y'all. That y'all pick up these rescues, and you call it dating, but you pick up rescues, and I don't know how you don't get fleas. I really don't. Because wow, are some of them struggling? And so no, I don't expect the most married heterosexual men are going to be able to handle it.
Right.
Mostly because they're not going to try. But predominantly because they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Like there's no ability to like suck it up buttercup.
Right.
And figure out what sizes a 9-year-old is.
Right.
So that all said.
Exactly. Furthermore, why did you not go, okay, my home office is leaving and this is now going to be the child's room. Let's figure it out.
I mean, more so, I don't get how you took off to go get this child.
Right.
Didn't continue that conversation with your wife.
Right.
At least long enough to figure out if you needed to even bother to come home.
Right.
Except for, to pick up your belongings from the front yard. Or from a storage unit if she were feeling so generous.
Right.
Because I would kind of think that's
right.
The nicest version that most people in a monogamous relationship could muster.
Right.
So already OP is like head and shoulders probably above most people that would ever encounter this situation, I would think.
Right.
Because she hasn't left and filed for divorce while you were gone.
Right.
Or locked you out and filed for divorce. So I think starting that argument, OP's husband, starting that argument, you need to shut up and listen.
Right.
The words "yes, dear" need to become your new best friend.
Right. And apparently his idea was that he was going to keep his office because he needs that.
Well, if he works from home, there's a potentiality there. But, choices.
How many rooms in this house have I worked in?
All of them, basically.
I've had a desk in every room of this house. Every room in this house.
I mean, fair enough. I'm just saying I could potentially see some issues being created there. But, given the situation, yeah, I think I would have been open to a lot of things.
Yes. A lot of things. Anyway, the poll is up. And we've got an interesting one here for asking gay guys over 30.
Oh, there we go. All right, so bored of being bored. I'm in a relationship where we don't do anything, and it's driving me crazy. We have been living together for about 3 years. I will be 66 in January, and he is 33. We have great conversations, and we have great sex. I truly love him, and he claims the same. However, every night he comes home from work, changes his clothes into sweats, and lays on the couch and binge watches Netflix. He does make dinner for he does make dinner for us each night, but he will even eat it laying down. Every now and then I can convince him to go shopping or to a restaurant, but I can tell he'd rather be home on the couch. I am close to retirement and quite well off. He is so young and a bit financially dependent on me. Not sure how many years I have left, but I don't want to spend them in the house. We have talked about this, and he has said he would change his habits, but nothing has. How can I convince him that this lifestyle is not healthy and we need to get out and about?
Leave him on the couch. No, leave him on the couch.
Yeah.
Go to the gym. Go do your activities. Go do the things you want to do. Go watch the shows you want to do. Go live your life. I do not know where this concept that as soon as you get a husband, they are attached like a leash to you.
Well, I'm going to go a slightly different route. I think first you have to recognize your primary problem is you're treating him like a bargain bin find at the fabric or at the craft store, and you're trying to fix him. People are who they are, who they are. Now, he can choose to change. You've asked for that. That hasn't occurred. Maybe he needs a little prompting, such as going out and doing things on your own might pull him in. Get a little tired of being home alone. He might decide to come out.
No.
But I think you have to prep yourself for the idea that this is who he is. It is not going to do anything to motivate him, convince him, and quite frankly, you call it unhealthy as you want. Some people are just homebodies.
Right.
And that's a choice one can make.
Right.
And some people are introverts and just don't like going out.
Right.
So ultimately you have to decide, since this isn't working, specifically what's going on, if there are ways you can stay home and modify, if you can go out on your own and this all be okay for you, or if the real problem is he needs to get out and find somewhere else to be and someone else to be with.
Right. But no, I do my own thing. He does his own thing. I'm at the gym. I go shopping. Like he hates. All right. Let me tell you my morning. Here's the evening today. I got up, finished a cup of coffee, asked him if he wanted to go to Walmart. No, I want to stay home. Fine. I went to Walmart. I came back. I went to Big Lots. And then I came back and done the show. This morning I had already gone to the gym. I was at the gym for an hour and a half. I'm quite sure he was well past his second cup of coffee before I walked in the house. Bouncing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I unleashed you on the world and stayed at home. But mostly to work, which a lot of things got done today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are much happier than they were when I first got out of bed this morning.
Right.
So, it was a very productive day here. Because this morning I wasn't going out, period. That like you were all prepped and ready to go. I was in need of coffee.
Yes.
As for this evening, I still had things to finish up, and it's like I could go out with you.
Mm-hmm.
But that means nothing that I need to get done is going to get done until at least 10:30.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, honey, you hate going to Walmart when I've got to go to 50 different places in that store.
I like, this is horrible, but I tend to enjoy shopping alone.
Yes.
Because I like, there's window shopping that I can do with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But when I actually need to like go and get stuff, like I just need to laser focus and deal with like what I'm dealing with.
Right.
Otherwise, I get lost in the conversations and the side quest and and the running into people and the
Right.
and it's like I don't remember why the hell I'm here or what I'm doing, and if it pops into my head, I just want to grab shit and get out.
Right. And, today's shopping was shopping that you don't particularly care about. Me debating over which freaking thing do I want to buy for my kitchen. Me debating on, do I want I don't want white because we have white at home. Do I want to replace the same white we have at home with new white and get me black? Is there a red color? Because I'm going more red and black and gold and silver, so that it's very clear that this isn't the house's cookware. This is my cookware.
Mm-hmm.
These are things you daringly dislike.
Basically, yes.
Like, honestly and surely, this, I didn't expect you to go. B,
yes, you did.
no, I asked. I knew you would say you had work to do, or you didn't feel like it, or you wanted to take a nap.
So you kind of batched it up.
Yeah.
So no, and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not mad. Because I don't know. It becomes one of those things that it's like, well, it's your cookware. Get what you want.
Right. But
Like,
there's 40
I don't.
freaking decisions to making cookware.
There are. And see, that's the moment where it's like, no, I really need to just like lock in and be like, what am I doing?
Right.
And like which one's better? Which one do I like the price of more? Can I get it cheaper online? Can I,
Right.
do I need it today? Does this one come with more stuff? Is it better stuff? Like, what am I comparing? Or do I just really like it? And it's like, you can try to talk me out of it, but
yeah, that ain't happening.
yeah.
Or headsets. I bought 2 of them. Why? Because one's wireless, one's not. I don't know which one I'm going to like.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
And that's also one of those moments where, like, you made the decision there to get both.
Right.
But the conversation in the store would have been which one.
Yeah.
And so we would have sat and gone back and forth, and you either A, wouldn't have bought either.
Right.
B, you would have found something between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Or C,
Mm-hmm.
you would have picked one.
Or D, I would have picked none. I went, I need to look into it.
And that was my first, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so I like, and it's probably better for in that instance, especially, just go.
Yeah.
Do it. Do what you're going to do. See what you like, like process it on your own.
Right. And, the trip to the clothing aisle annoys you.
It can. Mostly because I just hate for shopping for clothes at Walmart at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Occasionally, the clearance table, we found some cool things.
Right.
And like, I will do that. But as for going through the normal racks, it just alienates me to no end.
Right.
Yeah. I've shifted in my life from I can find all the shirts that I want and then help me on shorts and pants. Do now I can find all the shorts and pants that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven help me find a shirt that doesn't wear like a tube top.
Right.
Because I don't know what minion they're designing for.
Exactly.
But it ain't me.
Right. And I'm at that stage in my body function of, there's no way this fits. There's no way that fits. Why is this falling off of me?
Well, more importantly, you're at the stage in like your body and body transformation that it really doesn't matter. It's not going to fit in 2 weeks anyway. We're going to have to go back and try again.
Right.
Like
I'm
you're in
not falling
go
in
fish
love
mode.
with any of my clothes.
Yeah, don't fall in love.
Once I stabilize for 2 months in the same size, there's going to be a drastic style change.
Yeah, and that's
not until
not happened in like a year and a half.
No.
Like, You almost got there a couple of times, like, I plateaued. I get to buy clothes. I get to buy nice shit. And then,
Yep.
whoop, off a cliff.
Right.
Like, your personal trainer's done great.
Yes.
Like, there's no faulting him there. It's just the unfortunate side or size of this is the constant change.
Right.
Is that what fits today won't fit tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where it's like, it's not just that it doesn't fit, it's that currently it's almost a felony.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically when you're shopping for new clothes, is when keeping them on becomes impossible. And it's like, I can buy new clothes or I can go to prison.
So I'm buying functional, useful, okay, it works for the moment clothes. Once I plateau, which I'm hoping will occur within the next 3 months, then there'll be a style change. And then I can drive him crazy. Do you like the green one or the red one? Or maybe I should get both, because I do like both colors. Ooh, and they've got this gold one. This is me shopping. This is him going, what? He hates it.
Yes, because you change your mind so much. You like it's great that you're polyamorous because your ability to commit. Like, if you ever got judged on your shopping for how good you would be in a relationship, they'd take one look and be like, polyamorous. Because like, you will go through agonizing decisions between like 2 pieces of clothing or 3 or 10. And we think it's all done. You've picked the items you're going to buy. They are in the shopping cart. We have moved to another part of the store. And then somehow we circle back through clothing. And it's like everyone gets voted off the island.
Well, that's because of your reaction to all of them.
The entire first trip, useless.
Yeah.
Second trip through clothing is worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
Especially if we're moving into the, like, 2 minutes till close announcement.
Yes, I know. Like, I've got shopping carts on Amazon and on Temu filled with options that I'm waiting to see if I can fit into.
But will probably not buy when he can. We'll clear the cart of every single item in it 5 more times before that happens. And when it finally happens, he will clear the cart again and then buy totally different things.
We'll see. Like, I'm really set into the style that I have and my 2 men. It's just, do I get the 22 or the 12? Where are we in the European sizes?
Yes. But it is kind of funny. Like, it is an adventure. But I will say that first trip through, yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Put whatever you want to in the cart. I know how this ends. Whole second trip.
Ooh.
And that's the one that matters. What?
Ooh.
What in the shiny got your attention while we were on air?
Well, it's looking at the poll.
Uh-oh.
The poll is they abstain from voting.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I'm going to say they are a dill pickle because they're in a pickle right now.
Fair enough. It is definitely a pickle.
Yep.
Like, but alrighty.
Alrighty. So with that, take it away.
All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Devin, Bella, and Maria Meyer. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. And remember, we are only on the YouTubes. We have moved away from the Facebooks. All right, guys. We will see you later.
Bye.